Kenyans who have experienced ethnic divisions and tribal clashes during elections, the tribal map of which parts of the country are safe for which communities is as clear as daylight. In tonight's Mending the Fabric, we tell you the story of a man who left his village in Nyanza and settled in Kiambu, along with his wife and child. He relives the events of 2007 and the embrace he received from the residents in Kitui during the time that the ethnic flame was burning in the entire country. Linda Ogutu tells us that story.
And the task before all of us is to secure the gains that we've made while focusing on solving the challenges that remain.
What we want is to build one Kenya. One united Kenya.
Na hii Kenya tumeijenga kwa muda mrefu. Kwa nini tunataka kujaribu moja?
Nyinga Lungoli Lawrence Omondi, Nyanza Komoroni Homa Bay County. Kochia Central.
Meet Lawrence Omondi, a young man who has been waiting for clients at a taxi parking lot in Kitui town since morning. He says he hails from Homa Bay in Nyanza and he came to Kitui to look for a job. He is not the only one. Gabriel Gura has been living in Kitui town for the last 12 years and he has survived on the taxi business that has seen him mingle with the residents here. He recalls his journey.
Wakati nilifika hapa nilikuja kutafuta kibarua, nilikuwa driver by then. Nilisikia kuna kibarua inaendelea huku Musuri ya taxi.
Back then there weren't many Luos in Kitui, but he says the reception he got from the people he now calls brothers gave him the strength to move on.
Fanya kazi Musuri, tunaishi Musuri, hatuna vita.
But back home in Nyanza, his relatives put up a fight. They wanted him to go back home. But perhaps the greatest challenge for him came in 2007 when the entire country exploded into tribal divides that saw neighbor turn against neighbor and innocent blood shed. He was among strangers.
Tulikuwa na watu hapa Kitui tu kusikia ati mtu anataka kupiga mtu mwingine, hata wewe ni mtu kutoka wapi, wala kura yangu ilibiwa, ni wewe ni wa chama gani.
Peter Mutuku, the chairman of the Taxi Association in Kitui, says they had no reason to sideline Gabriel and his tribesmen. They had worked with them, had learned who they were and realized that they were no different from them.
For us to have developments, for us to move forward wherever we are, we have to live as a brother and a sister, not saying he or him comes from such and such a place.
With that conviction, Gabriel went ahead to marry, and the first thing he did was to bring his wife to stay with him in Kitui. After all, this had now become his home and his colleagues had become his brothers. He takes us for a drive to meet his daughter in school. We meet Joan Adhiambo, his 4-year-old who only speaks Kiswahili, oblivious of the tribal affiliation of her parents and her adopted home.
Well,
it has been a while now. Gabriel and his friends say they feel like they are part of this community.
Wengine wanaassume mimi ni Mkamba, wananisalimia uvo wangu. Wengine wananisalimia watinda hata na wajibu nesa.
He takes us to meet his wife who runs the tailoring business in town called Kisumu Tailoring. Never mind that they are in a foreign land. They are liberal enough to give it a name that reminds them of home.
Sioni wakiwa na ubaya wote. Wanatuchukulia tu venye yao. Sasa tunaendelea tu nao vizuri.
And so Gabriel takes his daughter back to school and makes his way back to work, grateful that strangers have accepted him as one of their own, hoping that he and his family can continue to live here peacefully and that his daughter will grow up oblivious of the tribal divide. Linda Ogutu, Mending the Fabric.
My task and the task before all of us is to secure the gains that we've made while focusing on solving the challenges that remain.